Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your host, Dr. Rectango, for yet another edition of The Autopsy, where I, your host, do everything possible to throw logic back and throw caution to the wind and allow myself to be the overseer. The overseer? This ain't a fucking Apple app. This ain't an Apple app! I have a Galaxy. God damn it, Cardis, look what you've done to me. Fucked up my intro. Fucking calling me on my phone. Got my voice activated. I'm fucking sick of you, Cardis. I know you're watching this. And if you're not watching this because you're at work, I'm gonna just send this part of the video to you on Skype. Like, just this. Like, you're not gonna get the intro. You're just getting this, Cardis. Damn you. Always sabotaging my plans. Always sabotaging my plans. That's what Cardis does. That's what he does. Anyway. Yes, all white people. I'm Dr. Rectango. This is Sensei Aishitsumasu. Or Ashitamasu. Yeah, she has 17,000 subscribers. This was uploaded a year ago, so things may not be quote-unquote up to snuff and up to date, but we will be getting right into this. So let's dive right in. Me versus you. Let's talk about it.
Guys, it's me, Saran, back with another video. This is going to be a quick PSA that is really a response to the number of people that I see saying, not all white people are racist. Not all white people, not all white people, not all white people. And this is white people as well as black people that love to say this. And I'm just here to let you know, public service announcement, yes, all white people. All white people are racist. And the reason why all white people are racist is because all white people are born into and raised in a racist white supremacist society that instills racist white supremacist ideals within them. And until they say, you know what, I am racist. I was born into this racist society that instilled me with certain beliefs of superiority, white supremacy, as well as certain beliefs about black people and other minorities. And I maybe need to stop and take a step back and unlearn all these things. They cannot be your friends. They cannot be your allies. They cannot hang out with you. They cannot date you. I would say that that should be the litmus test for every person, every non.
Okay, so yes, all white people. So what about the white people who have mixed kids right now having sex with black people? What about the white people who take mission trips going to Africa, helping out a whole bunch of people who you've probably never thought once about helping, even though you're rocking those voluptuous and beautiful locks? Those luscious locks. No? No? I figured they would have been in the clear. Oh, or are they doing it because they just feel so bad for black people that they don't want to be seen as racist, so they're going as undercover mission trippers in order to set the up? Okay, maybe I've over-evaluated things here. Maybe I overanalyzed and made a misstep, made a misnomer there. But you know, don't worry, we got our mulligan back, guys. We're back. We are back on the same page. But continue.
Essential white person in your life, aka people that you don't have to be around. Like if you have to be around your boss and your coworker, clearly you can't just say, oh, bitch, you're a racist, because you're going to get fired. But for any non-essential white people in your life, I think that the criteria for being around them should be, hey, can you admit that our society is racist and that you have racist beliefs that you're working to unlearn? If they can't do that, they got to get the fuck out. They got to go. Because yes, all white people. That's not.
Alright, so, as we all know, I have a lot of white friends. I have a lot of friends of every race. I have friends in every religion. I have transgender friends. I have friends who are, you know, dare I say it, living on the edge of fucking life. Don't know which side of the fence they want to live on, but they're still cool people nonetheless. Now, as a black person, I guess you could say that I'm more accepting this. But for the white friends that I have who still chill with all of us, watch my streams. Oh, I don't know. Remember when I needed money to get my mom's medicine and oh, I don't know. There's a certain white person that we all know. I mean, I think her name's Morg. I may not be sure, even though we all know her name is Morg. But she's out there playing video games with us every day, chilling with us on chats, helping us when we are in our times of need. But fuck, man, she's racist too. I mean, damn, racist as shit. Racist. I guess she's racist too. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's white people in our group who hate Donald Trump. There's white people out there who have already told everyone they hate Donald Trump for allowing their rallies to happen, for black people to be accosted and acting like things aren't right. There's white people who marched in the civil rights movement, but all white people though. Every single one of them. But continue. You're making so many good points right now. You are on a roll with this one.
To say that they're bad or they're evil or anything like that, but they are all imbued with certain ideas from this society. And it is the job, it is the responsibility of white people at this point to convey to other white people, listen, we have a problem. We have a problem. Because they're never going to listen to you. If you're a black person or if you're a minority, they're not going to listen to you because they have those ideals.
If you say that they're never going to listen to us, then ladies and gentlemen, I think we would all be in whips and chains, and we would all be saying, hum, 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 hum. That'd be our warm up before we hit, the traditional spirituals, like, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Like, you guys know the whole nine. You guys know the whole spiel on that. Everything would just be like Django Unchained, except without the happy endings. You know, that type of stuff. And let's just say we got past that. There would still be those times where fire hoses would be getting hit on us every day. And nobody would bat an eye. No one would even think to look over yonder and say, that's wrong. It would just be every day. Hell, we'd have little 8-year-old Timmy walking up. You dirty coon! Fireman, hit him! Like he's using hydro pump, like he's Blastoise or something. Not to make light of the issue, but that's what you would be telling me if it's all white people. It's not like black people just kicked down the door and said, you guys are going to stop right now. And all white people went, okay. Out of fear. That's not what happened. As you stated, white people who sympathized with us, realized what was going on was wrong, and ended up helping out. Yeah, you're right. More white people should do that. And I'll give you that point. But at the end of the day, you're acting like that doesn't happen. Which is, to quote Carlton Banks, pure poppycock. But go on. You got it.
Okay, even if it's on a subconscious level, it is not your job to educate white people. It's not your job to chase after them. It's not your job to respectability politic them and try to prove your worth and your value to them to get them to accept you and say, you know what, you are a human being. That is not your job. Your job and your work, as you guys know what I've said in my Do Your Work video, is to support other black people, is to uplift other black people, is to connect with other black people.
Okay, look. I know I've heard this 1,000 times, and I've dismantled this the same way every single time. I am not going to support someone just because they're black. I'm sorry. I ain't doing that. If you fuck up and you're black, I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, yo, because you black, we on team black. I'm obligated to, like, help you out now. That's not, no. That's, that, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not next Tuesday. It don't work like that. It won't work like that. Because I'm sorry. I know people who, when I see it out there in the regular everyday life, like last weekend, there was a dude coming through parking lot, not looking where he's going, blasting, I think it was Young Thug. He's out here, not even had his hands on the steering wheel, cruising through the parking lot. And I don't mean like coming down like the aisle. I mean like trying to sneak through the parking spaces because he wanted to go cut through by coming in through this entrance and then going out that exit instead of waiting at the 2 stoplights. So he cuts in, he's driving all the way across, and this Asian lady's just driving, and next thing you know, he just thumb right into the back of her Civic. Then he looking at me like, hey bro, it was her fault though, right? Just because I'm black, I'm not jumping on your team. Because he looked at me like, because we black, I'm supposed to help him. Like, I'm supposed to bridge some sort of gap and be like, you got it, dude. That ain't how it works. Then, you say, as black people, it's our job to stay together? It's our job to make sure that we're together? If that's the case, then any other race would be doing the exact same thing, and you're condemning white people for quote unquote doing the same thing and sticking with their own and picking up their own. But then you're saying it's the job of black people to do it for black people. And I'm assuming that you would want Asians to do it for Asian people. But have you ever tried to actually talk to an Asian girl? Or in your case, an Asian man. I don't know if you're, straight, gay. I don't know if you're part of the LGBT. I don't know. But talking to an Asian woman? Huh, that's a terrible mix up. Especially when you meet their parents. They be like trying to RKO you when you come through the door. Like, how dare you bring this man into my house? Like, it's like World War III in there. I think I'm about to go to Vietnam. Not to trigger anybody who's been in the Vietnamese War. I appreciate your service. It's not where I'm going with that. But when you talk about tension, any of the white girlfriends I've had versus any of the Asian girlfriends right now, going to the white girlfriend's house every time. No question about it. Their parents are like, what's going on? How's it going? Asian house ain't nothing but silence. You can hear the eating utensils hitting the tray. Ain't no one having a good time in there. It's hell. But all white people. All right, continue.
Is to fight for black liberation, is to fight for black agency. It is to buy and support, black owned businesses. It is to push for legislation to protect black people. All those things are your job. Convincing white people that racism exists is not your job. Arguing with white people all day on the internet about shit that you know is true is not your job. That is the job of other white people. That is the job of these white allies, okay? That is their job. That is not your job. Racism is white people's problem. It is their sickness, mental illness, disease.
Bam, bam. Pause. Pause. Roll with me on this one. White people? You're trying to say that racism is exclusively their problem. Alright, if I go outside in the street and someone's pointing guns at me because I'm black, I'm pretty sure this is my problem now. I'm pretty sure racism is a universal problem, whether you're at the top looking down or from the bottom looking up. It is a problem of systemic signals put from government, media, culture, people, history into a culture. This isn't just some concept where it's just, oh, it's just white people having a mental sickness. No. No, it's not. That's part of the problem. Part. And as we all know, it takes multiple parts to make a whole. For all we know, there was a story not too long ago where there was a black doctor who was qualified to operate on a white child, but the white parent, the dad, was like, no, you will not let no coon put their hands on my son. And the son ended up dying because there was no one else qualified to do the operation. So yes, there are some people out there who hate someone based on the color of their skin. Hate them more than they love their own children. That is a mental sickness. Those are dark times. No pun intended. Those are dark times. But to sit here and say that it's just their problem and not mine, ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
Whatever you want to call it, it is their culture. It is passed down. It is perpetrated, and it is self-fulfilling by them. So it is their responsibility. The day that white people decide they want racism to be over, racism will be over. Okay? It is your job to create, again, a sense of agency and liberation in the black community so that we can be self-sustaining, so that we don't have to rely on them. That's your job, because PSA, yes, all white people. There are systems in place that imbue all white people with certain ideas. There are systems in place that imbue all black people with certain ideas. Yes, all white people. Yes, all black people. You can't opt out of the system, right? You can't opt out of the system. So when I say all white people, I'm not saying it to hurt your feelings, and I'm not saying it just because you're white. I'm saying it because I'm talking about an all-encompassing system. And this rush to say, well, I'm an individual, that's an example of your privilege, and it's just really silly and immature. It's just a silly and immature way of thinking, right? You've been raised to think a certain way about yourself, but that is an embodiment of your privilege. So how about you step the fuck back and shut up and listen for a second, Black people don't have the privilege of individualism. We don't, so spare me your whining about not all white people, not all white people, because I don't even fucking care. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, yes, all white people are products of this racist, sexist, classist, white supremacist system. All of you, every last one of you. Every single fucking one of you are products of the system, okay? You're all indoctrinated with white supremacist teachings from the time that you were born, right?
Okay. She brought up sexist. So, are white women also sexist? I'm just trying to clarify something here because if what you're saying is we're all a part of this, wouldn't this contradict the thing that you said earlier about it just being white people's problem? And if it is everyone's problem, then it's not just white people's problem because we're all part of this system. Because now you're saying the exact same point that I used as a counterpoint to start off on your initial point. I mean, if I've got that, then you seem to get on the right track, but then fall right off the rails. But go on.
Now, can it be unlearned? I say yes. I think yes. I think racism is a taught behavior, it's a learned behavior, it's a pathology that's been handed down for centuries and generations. So, yes, it can be unlearned, but most white people do not unlearn it because you guys don't even want to admit that there's a problem. Instead of saying, yes, we are living in an oppressive system that indoctrinates every last one of us with these oppressive beliefs, you just rush to say, no, I'm an individual, not all white people. You can't begin to unlearn shit and change shit if you won't even admit that there's anything wrong, right? Admitting it, what is it? Admitting it is the first step, or, admitting it is the hardest step, right? Something like that. Like, you can't opt out of the system. You can't opt out of your privilege if you're a white person. You can't opt out of the benefits of being born into a system that gives you privilege if you have white skin. And I'm going to make another video about privilege because people seem really confused about privilege and the way that privilege works. So I'm definitely going to make an in-depth video about privilege, but just know that the way our society is set up right now, if you have certain traits, if you have certain qualities, you get certain privileges, okay? White skin is one of those traits and one of those qualities that if you have it, you get certain privileges. You're born into that system. Now, am I saying it's your fault or this, that, and the third? No, but you are born into that system and you can't opt out of it, and you are imbued with those ideals. Yes, all white people. Yes, all white people. Just like all black people are born into a system that sees us as being a threat, as being subhuman, as being inferior because we have black skin. Yes, all black people. Yes, we all experience.
Wait, okay. Now I'm really confused here. Because she says all white people are born into a system. Then she begins listing things that white people believe of themselves. Like, oh, yeah, we are pushed to the moon. Yeah, we believe that we get perks. Yeah, this, that, and the other. But then you're saying black people are born into a system where, I mean, I don't think I'm subhuman. And I know plenty of people from multiple races who know that we're not subhuman. So when you're saying that we're born into a system of we all think no, absolutely not. No, now you're just going over the cuckoo's nest right now. So apparently we all are born into this system where we're all like, you know what, son? You're an ape, and you'll always be an ape. Apparently that's what we're doing. Apparently that's what this is now. But go ahead and continue. I'm sure you'll wrap this up.
Some form of racial trauma because we are black. Yes, we all have to unlearn Eurocentric conditioning because we are black. Yes, all black people. And it's the same thing. Yes, all white people are fucking racist because you all are growing up in a racist system. I feel like it's not a hard concept to grasp, but no one wants to admit. One, no one ever wants to admit that they're racist. Like, we live in a society of racism without racists. People are more afraid of being called a racist than actually working on a racist system, right? You have people that are so terrified of being called racist that they don't want to examine the fact that they are actually a motherfucking racist, right? And it's funny, like, how we understand this when we're talking about other forms of pathology, right? Like, we understand. My hair is like really annoying me. Sorry, guys. Like, we understand that people growing up in abusive households have higher chances of being impacted by abuse, right? They have higher chances of getting into abusive relationships, being abused, or being an abuser. We understand that soldiers coming back from violent war zones, or people that are constantly in dangerous situations, like firefighters and stuff like that, they have a higher chance of suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. They have a higher chance of not being able to adjust to civilian life. We know this, we understand this. We understand that people in certain environments will most likely be psychologically impacted in certain ways, right? Like, we can understand this. But when we start talking about racism and racist systems and learned racism, all of a sudden everything we know about the human brain fucking flies out the window because white people.
Okay, you're taking the trauma that comes from watching someone being physically abused, watching someone being absolutely mutilated, shot, killed in a war zone, to being at home in a normal household just because of the color of your skin. Okay, let's take this and run with it. Run all the way to the bank. So, what you're telling me is that if someone is born into a white household, that automatically means that their parents are like this. Oh, you're white. You're white. Remember, anyone that's not like us, they're the devil. They're a little demon. Oh, you're a little black killer. Oh, you're gonna take all those Hispanics. We're gonna throw them back over that wall. Oh, they're not from Mexico? Doesn't matter. If they're from Spain, they're going back over the wall, and Mexico can figure out what to do with them. Oh, you're my little white little vanilla snowflake. I love you. Mwah! Because what you're telling me is that they're sending images and putting things into their head that would turn them into racist people. Not just, I see white people at my house, therefore, all of a sudden, all I like is white people. Because if that's the case, then my life is fucked up. My life is shot. My life is rest in peace. My family obviously didn't do it right because as a black person, I wasn't going around just coming out the womb. I'm a Black Panther now. I don't like you, Whitey. Get out of here, honky. Get out of here. Oh, what's that? You got braids? Damn you, honky. You liar. Appropriating our culture. What's this? Carrot top? You got an afro? You better cut that off. You better come out looking like Lex Luthor. Otherwise, I'm going to body you. I'm going to fight you because you're not black. Get rid of the afro. You don't deserve it. You didn't earn it. What? What? These are not values that my parents were like. Remember, if you say white person with an afro, stab their hair with scissors until they're bald. Like, that's not, these are not things that we were programmed to do. Just because there's a white family, for all you know, then what does a mixed family do? Like, at that point, what do you do when you cross races? Like, what team are they playing for? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to convey at this point now. But go on.
Don't want to admit that they're all racist. They want to hold on to this fucking privileged individualism. I'm a unique special snowflake with magical mutant X ability to not fucking be influenced by my surroundings, and the constant barrage of racist white supremacist propaganda. But that's not the way that the brain works. Like, that's not the way that psychological trauma works. That's not the way that.
Well, of course it's not, because the way you're describing it is once again things acting upon somebody's psyche that are in their environment every day. And just because I see black people in my house every day does not mean something is like latching onto my head that says, you will hate everything that is not black people, and you will have an affinity for black people. Because if that's the case, then wouldn't that mean that everyone would never be, oh, I don't know, what's the word? Homosexual? Because everyone was like homosexuality is wrong, being gay is a terrible thing, and yeah, we would all hate gays and we would all be influenced by hating gays and think gays are the worst thing since sliced bread because we think they're weird, especially if you were raised in a Christian household, right? Because all Christians hate gays apparently. Because if you're raised in a Christian household and sodomy is a sin and all, that would be a terrible thing, right? I mean that's about the ballpark figures you're looking at when you say yes, all white people. But okay, go on.
anthology works. That's not the way that it works, being put in intensely, damaging situations like the racist systems that are in place in this country. And it's fucking absurd. Like, it's fucking absurd to me. It's like, you are not an omega level mutant able to control shit with your mind just because you're white. Like, you are not Jean Grey. Like, you've been born into this racist, sexist, capitalist, white supremacist society, and from birth you've been imbued with its beliefs, period. Yes, all white people. All white people, all of you, literally every last one of you, right? And white people love bringing up like their parents and their families, like, oh, I was raised to think this, and I was raised to think that, and I was raised to treat all people equally, so how can I be racist? And da 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 da. And it's like, listen, every white person acts like they had a perfect, non racist, amazing, wonderful fucking upbringing, which is a load of shit. I don't believe that shit. No. I don't believe it. No. Even if I did believe it, which I don't, even if I did believe it, you still have to leave the house. You still watch TV. You still watch movies. Like, you still watch TV with no black people or no other people of color. You still watch movies with no black people and no other people of color. You still watch books when watch books. You still read books with no black people and no other people of color. You watch plays, you listen to music, you go to concerts, you live in neighborhoods.
Okay, so listen to music. All right, so all these white people listening to black radio stations, listening to rap, everybody out there trying to be the next Future, Eminem, yo, fuck it, they all racist, fam. Pack it up, fam. They all hate it. I mean, they want to be. All right, cool. All right. I shouldn't even have to say no more, fam. I should be able to walk into the sunset, ride off on my glorious horse. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna finish this. I'm going to finish the drill, so to speak. So you're saying that it's not just the family. Now it's everything in society. Even though Straight Outta Compton, remember that movie? It came out, did really good. Now, granted, this video is a year old, so certain things are not going to be up to snuff. But we've seen white people adore black celebrities, black music. I don't know where you've been. I'm not sure if you've gone outside because you're sending me mixed signals right now. I'm just letting you know that you've gone off the rails. I mean, hell, Cam Newton, black quarterback, best-selling jersey of 2016. Now, granted, once again, you wouldn't know that because this is a video that's a year old. But let's not act like, this is 180 degrees different from 365 days ago. But go ahead, continue.
With no black people or no people of color. You go to schools with no black people or no people of color.
So every white person that goes to a public school, all of a sudden they go to schools with no black people. Don't get me wrong, the private school game, little different. Very different. I went to a predominantly white private school for my 7th and 8th grade years. It was just 2 years. It was weird. Whatever. And I'll admit, some of them kids, they didn't know how to handle me being in the class with them. They was like, I don't know, this is unfamiliar. This is like a piece of territory I'm unfamiliar with. But none of them were like, that's right, you dirty coon. They were just like, I don't want to sound, I don't know if that joke's appropriate. They were just awkward. But 80% of the school that I got to know was fine, upstanding people. Always willing to hang out. Invited me to their parties. Chilled. Played video games. Watched TV. Lived the quote-unquote traditional privileged life. On the football team. Couple of them like, hey man, you're really good at football. You should come wrestle with us. Yeah, man, join the wrestling team. I was just a student. I I'm I want I've lived some things. these are not things that have happened. Like okay. Now I'm not saying I can speak for everyone because I can't. Because trust me, I have met some racist motherfuckers, especially online. But at the end of the day, it's not to where it's like, oh man, I look out my window. Is that Whitey McWhite? Nope, staying inside tonight. They'll lynch me. Like that. I'm not worried about these microaggressions to mega aggressions towards my people. It's not. I'm not going out there looking scared and just like, oh, I know you racist. I can look at you right now and know you racist. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody on this planet has racist tendencies. I'll agree. That's as far as I'll be able to go with that. There are some times where you'll say something that is just completely insensitive, whether you mean it or not, and it just comes off as racist. Sometimes you'll be like, "Oh man, that girl looks very cute," and it's like, "Why?" "Oh, I don't know. Just her skin tone's better than her skin tone." You all have these preferences. But it's not like you're going out there and just saying, "You're black, you're worse than me, you're an inferior creature, get body." Like that's not that this is where she's taking it, which is much different. But go on.
You know, you still have to participate in a society outside of your home, and white supremacist ideology is everywhere. You go to school and you fucking learn this Eurocentric curriculum that fucking tells you subconsciously that you and your kind and your people did everything and the rest of us did nothing. That's gonna have a fucking impact on you. It's gonna have an impact on your brain, just like it has an impact on us and an impact on our brains. And it's really absurd and ridiculous to me the way people try to act like they can opt out of this system. You cannot opt out of the system. The system is everywhere. White supremacist ideology is everywhere, and you're all racist. Yes, all white people, right? Yes, all white people. All white people. All of you. All of you. You're all racist products of a racist system, period. Most you can do is understand your privilege, use it to spread awareness and work to unlearn racist, destructive, parasitic behavior, right? That's how you white ally. That's how you fucking do better. If you really don't want to be a racist, or if you really feel like you're not.
Okay, I have one thing to say now. So what do you do for Hispanics, Asians, and those Africans that are still in Africa who a lot of people aren't doing anything to help? What what do you do? What do you do for them? What do you oh, Okay, I'm reading the chat. I bet you she hates her white shirt too. I'm not gonna say nothing. All I'm gonna say is anybody who remembers Don't Be a Menace, Bernie Mac's character. I hate your black lips. Anyway, jokes aside, let's go.
Racist, that's what you have to do. If you're not working to unlearn that shit, don't fucking speak to me. Like, don't come on my YouTube channel crying white tears in my comment section talking about I agree, but not all white people. No, like the fact that you even feel bold enough to say that to me, to come on my channel and say that to me, is that also an example of your privilege, right? Like, if you're feeling so fucking bold, how about you go address your fellow racist whites in the comment sections of all the websites, right?
So somebody having an opinion on your video that doesn't necessarily agree with everything that you said makes them racist because they're abusing their privilege to have the confidence to say they don't. What? Well, you're getting a video response, so what? The only comments being deleted are one that include racial slurs or start off with "fuck you, bitch, you're wrong, and you can go to hell." Anyone with a reasonable comment is not being removed. Maybe you should ask your fellow white people why they are racist sacks of shit, leaving slurs and antagonistic bullshit in the comment section before coming to me. Okay. I love your message. Right on, sister. Please make more videos like this so we can spread awareness. Oh god, it's spreading. Oh god, oh god, this is real. This is real. But this is a huge problem in the Hispanic. Okay, so someone actually does bring up the Hispanics at some point. And because we're a minority groups, we can think we can get away with say terrible things about black people, like we're in the same boat or something. Growing up, I've been favored for having light skin, nice hair, and I used to find it super flattering. It's only recently I realized how fucked up that is. That basically what made me pretty or smart was I resemble white person. It's creepy and disgusting how white supremacy has infiltrated. Oh my god. All right, mate. All right. We're just gonna continue.
How come you feel comfortable enough to come to my channel and tell me not all whites, but you didn't feel comfortable enough to go to fucking Fox News .com and fucking say, oh, not all black people are this, not all.
Oh well, she does have a Japanese name, so I mean, if she can have that, then you can have a white guy named Ubuntu or Kunta Kinte, Kunta Kinte Senior the third.
All black people are that. Why? Think about, have you ever thought about that? Why are you comfortable telling me not all whites, but you're not comfortable telling your fellow white people, not all blacks. It's because deep down, even if it's just on a subconscious level, right? Even if it's just on that psychological part of your brain that has been conditioned from growing up in this society, you have a superiority complex. You are a racist, okay? You think you're better than me, and you feel like you have a right to come on my YouTube channel and come in my black space and try to correct me. And that is all of you, yet again.
Black space? So her YouTube channel is a black space, but her name is Sensei Ashitamasu. What if an Asian person said, "How dare you appropriate my culture by putting in that name"? What? What the fuck? Okay.
And if you're not working to unlearn it, then it's motherfucking you too. It's all of you. This is a racist microaggression and it's a form of white supremacy. Period. Okay? Period. Don't come in my black space trying to correct me, trying to fucking tell me how it's not all white people, this, that, and the third. Yes, it is all white people. It is all fucking white people. Stop trying to hit me with these racist ass micro fucking aggressions. The only thing, yet again, that you should be saying to me is that you recognize that you were born into a racist, white supremacist society that imbued you with certain racist ideas from birth. That's all I need you to say to me, period. That you recognize your racism, that you recognize your privilege, that you recognize your inherent bias, that you recognize that you're born into a system that elevates you above everyone else because you're white, and that you're actively working to unlearn it. If you ain't saying that, then you ain't saying nothing. Period. Period. If you ain't talking that shit, I don't know why the fuck you talking, in the words of fucking Lil Wayne, okay? If you're not saying that, then you don't have permission to talk to me.
I was willing to give so many benefits of doubts. And then the Little Wayne quote. I remember when someone made that very immaculate argument. They cited one Little Wayne. Okay, all right. Come on now. Let's wrap this up.
You don't have permission to leave comments on my channel. You don't have permission to hit me up on Tumblr. You don't have permission to fuck.
Wait, you don't have permission to comment on a YouTube video? Oh, well, see, comments, my dear, work like this. When you have comments enabled, you can just argle, and then you can go over here to this little lovely button that says post, and you can post it. But I'm not gonna just write gibberish. I mean, you're gonna get a video, so I mean, don't worry about it. I mean, that's how it works.
Mention me on Twitter now that I have a Twitter. You don't have permission to fucking talk to me on Instagram. You don't have permission to talk to me, white person. You don't have fucking permission to talk to me. And all my fucking black people that are watching this, tell a white person today that they don't have permission to talk to you, and watch how fucking mad they get. That's because they're accustomed to being able to bust up in any space and have a voice, right? Which is just another example of their privilege. Let them know, if you're not fucking admitting that you're born into a problematic.
Yeah, try that with anybody. Like, just go walk up to another black person, like, you ain't got permission to talk to me. Watch how that works out for you. Promise you it's not going well. Walk up to a Hispanic person that you don't even know. Just like, matter of fact, you don't have permission to talk to me. Guarantee you that's gonna go well for you. They probably never even thought about talking to you for any rhyme or reason. But you roll up on someone and say, you don't have permission to talk. Go ahead, go it. Try it. Try it. Cause I bet you didn't do it.
Fucking system that imbued you with racist white supremacist beliefs that you are now actively working to unlearn. You don't have permission to talk to me. You don't have permission to talk to me. Yes, all motherfucking white people. All of you. This has been a public service announcement.
Public service. But it's not public if white people hear it because they don't have permission to hear you or communicate with you. So it's not public. Because it's your black space. It's exclusive. I'm sorry, that's enough snapping. Wow, that was something, guys. That was that was something. That was definitely was not expecting that.